Tomlin called BS.
With Andrew Berry?
Yeah. All right. So he told Andrew Berry, Harvard, smart guy, GM, look, Andrew, ain't nobody trading they starting quarterback to the damn team in their same division in the same season unless something ain't right. Like, he called BS on that stuff for real. And I'm like, he made me think, I was like, yo, this is a real, we've been talking about Shedeur in a lot of ways, but this is the first time I'm thinking this was a whole plot and plan.
Nobody saw this coming. Not the fans, not the media, not even the Browns themselves. Mike Tomlin just blew the lid off one of the biggest secrets in the NFL, and it's all about Shedeur Sanders. What he exposed doesn't just shake the Browns, it flips the entire quarterback room upside down. Cleveland fans are in total shock right now because this wasn't gossip, this wasn't rumor. This was Tomlin going on live TV and putting names on blast. He straight up called out Andrew Berry, breaking every unspoken rule between coaches. You could feel the tension through the screen when he dropped that bomb. What Tomlin revealed about how Cleveland's been handling the Shedeur Sanders situation, Wild doesn't even begin to cover it. Berry thought he was playing chess while everyone else was playing checkers, keeping his little master plan tucked away. But Tomlin just turned the spotlight right on it, and now it's all out there. This thing traces all the way back to draft night. The shady trade maneuvers, the mysterious bench decisions, and a head coach who still won't even say Shedeur's name out loud. When you stack up all the clues, it starts to look like one of the dirtiest power plays in recent NFL history. We're talking about forced trades, quiet sabotage, and a locker room being played like a deck of cards. What's happening in Cleveland right now isn't just messy, it's a full-blown scandal ready to explode. Mike Tomlin doesn't just talk to hear himself speak. When he opens his mouth, it means something. This man's been in the league for decades, built on discipline and respect. So when he breaks that silent code between coaches and GMs, you already know something seriously off in Cleveland. Tomlin calling out another team's general manager by name is basically the NFL's version of crossing the line. You just don't do that unless there's real dirt under the surface. And when he brought up Andrew Berry and that wild Joe Flacco trade, the whole story cracked open like a broken locker room door. Here's what happened. On live TV, Tomlin said, Andrew Berry must be a genius. But the tone? Straight sarcasm. He wasn't praising him, he was clowning him. Think about it. Who trades their week one starting quarterback to a division rival mid-season? A rival who's desperate for a quarterback. It's madness. And then Tomlin sealed it with one cold line. But that's just how I feel about it.
To be honest, it was shocking to me. Andrew Berry must be a lot smarter than me or us, because it doesn't make sense to me to trade a quarterback that you think enough of to make your opening day starter to a division opponent that's hurting in that area. But that's just my personal feelings.
Come on, that wasn't just feelings. That was Tomlin calling out the Browns in front of the entire football world. That was him saying what every player, reporter, and fan's been whispering. Something sketchy is going on in Cleveland, and Shedeur Sanders is right in the center of it. You ever seen a move like that? Trading your starter mid-season to a rival? Not McNabb, not Bledsoe. Those were washed vets moved in the offseason. This was a live fire drill. It's unheard of. And Tomlin sniffed out the setup immediately.
I've never seen, name it, you go. I only got 2 instances, and it never happened during the season, where someone who started at quarterback got traded to their rival in the division.
Because here's the truth that's starting to come out. This was never about Joe Flacco. That trade was a smokescreen, a distraction to hide the real war going on inside the building. A power struggle, tearing the Browns apart from the top down. Right now, 3 people run Cleveland. Kevin Stefanski, the stubborn head coach, Andrew Berry, the Harvard GM with a God complex, and Jimmy Haslam, the owner who can't stop meddling. None of them agree on anything. And stuck in the crossfire, Shedeur Sanders, the one piece they can't control and the one they're most afraid of. Something big's brewing in Cleveland, and Tomlin just made sure the whole world saw it. It's obvious at this point, Kevin Stefanski does not want Shedeur Sanders. Watch any press conference and it's clear as day. The moment he's asked about Dylan Gabriel, Stefanski lights up, goes on for minutes, breaking down every detail. But when the topic switches to Shedeur, suddenly it's short answers, generic lines, fake smiles, pure damage control. Meanwhile, Andrew Berry and Jimmy Haslam, they're all in on Shedeur, and there's a reason behind it. A massive $600 million stadium deal. The city needed hype, ticket sales, fresh energy, and someone who could turn Cleveland from just another franchise into a headline. That's exactly what Shedeur brings. Buzz, merch, spotlight, and guess what? The stadium deal got approved right after the pick. Coincidence? Not a chance. Now rewind to draft night. The Browns originally planned to take Dillon Gabriel in round 3. They passed on Shedeur in the first because they didn't think he was worth the price tag. But when round 5 came around, everything flipped. The stadium talk started heating up, the front office got desperate for attention, and suddenly, Cleveland needed a name that could move the needle. That's when Barry and Haslam overruled Stefanski and pulled the trigger on Shedeur Sanders. Not because Stefanski wanted him, but because the city needed him. The front office didn't care about fit. They cared about fame, revenue, and the new stadium headline that would read, "Cleveland's future has arrived." Fast forward to the season. Joe Flacco starts week 1. Fine, makes sense. He's the veteran. But then mid-season, they trade him to the Colts, a division rival. Why would any team do that? Because it wasn't about Flacco. It was a power play. Barry and Haslam knew Stefanski was too stubborn to bench Dillon. They knew he'd ride or die with his guy. So how do you force a stubborn coach's hand? Easy. You remove his safety net. As long as Flacco was around, Stefanski had an escape plan. Dillon struggles. Throw in Flacco and pretend it's strategy. But once they shipped Flacco out, he was cornered. No veteran, no plan B. Just Dillon and Shedeur. And when Dillon kept putting up mid-numbers, not bad but not great, the pressure started building. Stefanski's excuses started running out fast. Now the fans are restless, the front office is watching, and there's only one real option left. Play the kid, because let's be real, Dillon could throw for 500 yards and barely trend, but Shedeur, he could hand the ball off 30 times and still have every camera in the stadium locked on him. That's not just the difference between players, that's the difference between a name and a superstar. Kevin Stefanski's biggest problem, Shedeur Sanders knows exactly who he is. He's confident, composed, and raised by a man who built his entire legacy on swagger and excellence, Deion Sanders. That mindset is in his DNA. So when Cleveland tried to tell Shedeur to sit and learn, he didn't just nod and fall in line. He pushed back, respectfully but firmly, because he knows he's built for the moment. And that confidence, Stefanski can't stand it. Want proof? Look at the moment that broke the internet. Jalen Ramsey sacks Dillon Gabriel, Dillon gets up, glares toward the sideline, and then points straight at Shedeur on national television. That wasn't a coincidence. That was a message. Even Dillon knows this quarterback drama is boiling over. The problem is Dillon's not helping himself. In his last game, he threw 52 passes, but only 3 went more than 10 yards. He finished with just 211 yards. That's not NFL caliber offense. That's training wheels football. Stefanski's babying him with short throws, checkdowns, and safe reads just to make him look serviceable. It's a desperate move to justify keeping Shedeur benched.
He had 52 attempts in that last game, passing attempts.
Oh, yeah.
52.
52.
And if I could be wrong 52. On this stat, but I think it might have been 3 passes that were like over 10 yards.
Right.
It was something.
He only had 211 yards or something, so you're right.
Right. So they're not even calling plays really to get that ball down. I feel like they're babying him and they're coddling him because that's his guy. And I feel like he's trying to do everything in his power to justify why he has Gabriel in front of Shedeur. She's like, I'm trying to make you look good.
Right.
You got to do it. Just do something. Like, I'm gonna make this game as easy for you as possible. Mm-hmm. Because did you see yesterday the clip? It came out yesterday with Jalen Ramsey. Yeah. So when he sacked Gabriel and then went to pointed at Stefanski and said, "Put Shedeur in."
Yeah. But here's the thing. Even Stefanski's running out of time. Dillon's got maybe 2 or 3 more games to prove he's worth the faith, and when he doesn't win, the narrative shifts fast. Suddenly, the headlines change from patience to pressure. Fans start chanting, media starts asking questions, and the storyline becomes clear. Cleveland needs a spark, and that's when Shedeur steps in. That's when the story explodes. If he gets the call and goes 3-2, people will start believing. If he goes 4-1, the city will crown him. But if he goes 5-0, Cleveland will lose its mind. The energy would be LeBron return level. Streets packed, jerseys flying off the shelves, the whole city breathing football again. People love to hate on Shedeur for his confidence, for the chains, the swagger, the Deion shadow hanging over him. But when you strip all that away, he's been handling this mess like a pro. He's got a coach who won't even say his name, a locker room divided down the middle, and a fan base starving for hope. Yet through it all, he stayed calm, focused, and ready. That's not arrogance, that's belief. Cleveland's been searching for a true franchise quarterback for decades. They've tried everything, rookies, veterans, rebuilds, experiments, and none of it stuck. Now they finally have someone who could be special, but instead of unleashing him, they're hiding him behind safe football. At some point, you've got to take the risk, because if Shedeur really is the guy, if he's as legit as he looks, then all this drama, all this tension, all this controversy will have been worth it. But if they keep waiting, if they keep playing scared, Cleveland might blow their shot at greatness again. Tomlin already exposed the plan. The world's watching now. The question is, will Shedeur's moment actually come, or will the Browns fumble another golden chance? 2 moments locked it in for me. No doubt, no hesitation. Facts. First, Shedeur Sanders himself dropped the line that shook the whole NFL. All I know is he playing this year. He didn't say, I hope, or we'll see. He said it like a man who already got the call. That's not confidence. That's confirmation. You could hear it in his tone. That's a father speaking with insider info straight from inside the Browns building. Someone told him the plan, and Prime just couldn't help but let it slip. Then came the second bomb, Jimmy Haslam's own words. He admitted, I went to bed thinking we only had Dylan. Woke up and Barry told me we're drafting another quarterback. That right there tells you everything. The owner didn't even know. That's chaos. That's Haslam trying to set up distance, so when this situation blows up, he can point the finger at Andrew Barry and say, that was his call. It's a classic NFL cover-your-tracks move, and Cleveland's mastered that art. Here's how it plays out. Within the next 2 to 3 weeks, Shedeur hits the field. Dylan keeps putting up those average, just fine stat lines. Browns keep losing tight games, and the fan pressure becomes deafening. By that point, even Stefanski won't be able to hide behind his system anymore. He'll have to cave. And when that happens, that's when we finally see what Shedeur Sanders is really about. My bet, he lights it up. Not saying he'll win every game, but the moment he takes over, the energy shifts. The offense finally breathes. The crowd believes again, and by season's end, everyone knows he's the guy. Could I be wrong? Sure. Maybe Cleveland drafts another quarterback next year. But even then, they'll finally have answers instead of another year wasted wondering what if, because that's the Browns' biggest flaw. They fear the truth. They fear making the hard calls. Right now, the organization's terrified, scared Dylan fails, scared Shedeur succeeds too much, scared the spotlight gets too bright. But through all of this, Shedeur's handled himself like a pro. No tantrums, no leaks, no drama. He could have gone viral by calling out the team, demanding a trade, or airing everything out. But instead, he's kept it pure class. That's rare in today's NFL. And when that moment finally comes, when Shedeur runs onto that field and the crowd erupts, the energy in Cleveland will flip overnight. The whole stadium will feel different. Hope, fire, belief. That's what Shedeur brings. He's not just a player. He's a movement waiting to happen. If the Browns let politics and pride block that, if they choke this opportunity because they can't admit mistakes, they'll regret it for decades. Cleveland's had heartbreak stacked on heartbreak, watching every other team find their guy while they just cycle through disappointment. Now they've got the spark right in front of them. The question is, do they finally let it burn bright, or does Cleveland stay Cleveland? When Shedeur gets that shot, does he deliver or disappoint? And just like that, the truth's out there. No more hiding, no more pretending this is business as usual. The Browns thought they could keep this quiet, but between Tomlin's slip, Deion's confidence, and Haslam's own words, the mask is off. Everyone, from fans to front offices, knows something deeper's been brewing in Cleveland all along. Now the countdown begins. Within weeks, the entire NFL will find out if Shedeur Sanders is the real deal or just another chapter in Cleveland's long history of heartbreak. The tension's boiling over. A locker room divided, a coach under fire, and a rookie who's been built for this moment since day one. When that debut comes, it won't just be another game. It'll be a statement. If Shedeur shines, everything changes. The offense, the energy, the culture. He becomes the future, the face, the redemption Cleveland's been begging for. But if the front office stalls again, if pride wins out over progress, they'll be remembered as the team that had gold in their hands and let it slip away. This isn't just football anymore. This is a fight for control, for legacy, for the truth. The fans can feel it, the players can sense it, and the rest of the league, they're just waiting to see the explosion. Cleveland's about to write its next chapter. And trust me, this one's gonna shake the league to its core. This is Huddle Files, where football meets the truth behind the headlines. Don't just watch the game, understand the story. Subscribe now and stay locked in, because what's coming next changes everything. If this saga had you shook, wait until you see what's next. You already know what it is. Huddle Files got the real, raw, and unfiltered breakdowns, so don't forget to like, subscribe, drop a comment, and share this with someone who needs to catch up.